Finally. Happy Friday, everybody. Casey McCoy with Create Captivate Digital Marketing. And this is episode number 68 of 5 Minute-ish Fri YAY. Sorry if you've been waiting for me to go live. As you can see, I'm working from home today because I'm still sick, but feeling well enough to do this video today. So having some technical difficulties with my internet, been battling it all morning on all kinds of Zoom calls. Happy Friday, Kara. Kara is joining us in the comments, but Kara, if you would like to, I've turned on the oh, thanks, Carol. I hope you're recovering well too. I hope you're healing up from that surgery you had. Kara, if you want to request to be added to the broadcast, you can do that. I've turned on that capability now. So anyway, I'll probably be kind of gross throughout this video and clear my throat and cough a little bit, but doing considerably better than I was a week ago today for sure. So just excited to be dressed in real clothes, and I did my hair and makeup, and those are huge accomplishments for me in comparison to my past week. So it's been bumpy, but thank you all for your well wishes and all. October's been a little bit of a roller coaster, but it's all gonna be okay. So today on 5 Minute-ish Fri YAY, though, I want to talk to everybody a little bit about planning for we're going to continue the talk from a couple weeks ago. So Kara did her own little news and updates bit last week with Fri YAY, but if you go back to the Fri YAY before that, you'll see that Kara and I had a conversation last time we were together about planning for 2021 and marketing budgets in particular. This is always a topic that comes up, and it's always a topic that kind of hangs people up. So I'm going to spend a little bit more time over the next couple of weeks going into a little bit more detail about how to kind of pull this together and make sure that you're taking into consideration all the different aspects and expenses and things that you might need to think about in order to really put this together in a really well thought out plan. So so what we've talked about in the past is just kind of the overarching ways to put your marketing budget together and the different routes that you can go about that, and the different methods that different organizations and businesses choose to do so. But one piece with this that I think is really important, it's probably, for me, it's one of the most important parts of putting together a marketing budget that is really well thought out and sound, is having some Kara says she can't find the button, but she'll be there in the comments. Okay. Glad she's down there in the comments at least. So what we want to do is we want to use our data and our analytics that are there for us. And I know this is a lot of people's least favorite thing to think about when it comes to the marketing. You might have great ideas for campaigns. You might have ideas of what products and services really sell well, or how to speak to your audience, or what kinds of, cool content to create. But when it comes to going back and reviewing those analytics and that data and information that's available to us through those different marketing platforms, it's really challenging for a lot of people, and kind of, I have to be in the right mood for it. I have to be in the right mindset to really want to be able to dig into it and pull it apart and use the pieces that I need to really put something together in a well thought out manner. I don't love numbers. I'm good at numbers, but I don't love dealing with numbers myself personally. So data and analytics, all of the things that we're using have these capabilities built into them. So it's really important that we take the time when we're preparing for the upcoming year, or if we're doing it on a month-to-month basis, just reviewing the information that's been given to us and making sure that we are using that to drive the decisions that we're going to make and drive the direction that we're going to pour our hard-earned dollars into. So, you know, especially in today's world where, you know, we're living in the midst of this like global pandemic, and you know, some places you might be watching from a state that is very open and things are back to kind of almost normal, it would feel like, whereas some of you might be watching from other places that are not. You know, we need to kind of have at least some kind of plan in place. And I think looking at our data from this year in particular is going to be really helpful for planning for the next year. So I encourage you all to weed through these numbers and figure out really what matters the most to your business. Now, when I talk about some of these examples I'm going to share, you know, it's going to look a little bit different for each one of you, for each organization or business, for each different situation. You're going to have different factors or KPIs to consider, a key performance indicator. So this may not be 100% applicable to you and what you're doing, but generally it kind of looks the same across the board. So we want to try and determine how much money we need to achieve your goals in 2021. So 2020's numbers, I think, are going to be incredibly important and helpful in that. So I want to break this down in a way that's not intimidating or frustrating for you to go about. And what we're going to look at with our numbers particularly is we want to find out and answer a few very important questions. Number one, where in 2020 did we succeed? What of our marketing efforts really took off and worked well? Number two, on the flip side of that, we want to figure out what just was a flop and what didn't work, what failed. And then with that information, then we want to come in and say, okay, so are our priorities still the same? Moving forward from here, what are our goals and what does that look like in comparison to the past? So we're going to compare. One of the best things you can do is compare your data from your various marketing platforms and methods. So, you know, like I said, it's going to look a little bit different for everyone, but at a bare minimum, we should all be measuring our website traffic on a regular basis. And particularly, what pages are most popular is one of the best things, one of the most important pieces that you can look at too. So, oh, hi Sue. Kara says she doesn't math, but it is important. And yeah, she's right. You can't always ask for help from others. There are people who do get a real kick out of doing this all day, every day. Would I want to do it all day, every day? No. But that's why I hired really smart people to be on my team. So I think of our marketing strategy Steph when I'm talking about a lot of this information. She is the one that is going to really crush it with all the wonky numbers and data and analytics. That's her jam. So when we're talking about measuring website traffic in particular though, oh, hi Monica, thanks for watching. When we're talking about website traffic in particular, so we want to look at what pages are most popular. And you want to also look at things like, are you connecting with the right audience? If you are a spa, Carol, so if Carol has a spa that's here local, then she's going to want to make sure that the people who are viewing her website the most are people who are here local. And so looking at that kind of information, that's one of the best things you can do, is kind of just gauge what really makes sense with the type of business organization that you have. Oh, Shizuka hearts numbers. She almost like economics degree, and she's definitely in the camp of she loves some numbers. Kara just shared in the comments, if you haven't seen it yet, she shared a Facebook article, Measure and Understand Your Business with these 5 metrics from Facebook. So that's on their blog. Super, super helpful information. Another thing that you might want to consider, I think of our clients who have a venue where they're booking events like the DeWitt Cottage at the Virginia Beach oceanfront. You know, we want to look at the pages that have forms on their website. So we want to track those conversions of how many people are going and filling out that form. Or we think of our clients Daisy Blue Naturals, and the products that they're selling. So how many people are, you know, what's the numbers look like for how many people are putting things into their cart but abandoning their cart, or how many people are actually going through that purchase process and finishing it. So those might be some of the things that you would want to look at in terms of website traffic. So I get a lot of questions about social media and how to measure that accurately, or what to pay attention to there. And you know, if you've listened to any of these Fri Yays, if you have been through any of our workshops, you know we're gonna say this. You can probably say, oh, hey Teresa, thanks for watching. Vanity metrics, nah, we're not about that. We don't really care about likes, follows, or any of those vanity numbers. We want you to figure out and look at a couple of different things. Generally, everyone should be paying attention to their reach. Is your reach continually increasing? Are you maintaining, at least at a baseline, maintaining or always increasing that social share of voice? Are you always getting in front of a new audience? That is one of the things that is going to make a huge difference and determine if your social media content and efforts are successful or not. Happy Friday, Teresa. Oh, thanks. I miss you. So for social, reach is a huge one. Now, if you're in a product-based business, once again, or if you're selling something online, then conversions are really important as well. There are a plethora of other metrics that you may want to measure, like cost per click. If you're doing social ads, that's one of the most important metrics, and you want to know what it costs you to get a click on your ad. And actually, Facebook does this for you. It tells you your cost per click. So how they determine that is your total ad spend is divided by your total measured clicks, and that gives you your CPC. So a few others for social might, when I talked earlier about social share of voice, I always get a big question mark with like, what the heck does that mean, or how do I measure that? That is an easy equation as well. So your social share of voice is your brand mentions, how many times you're tagged or mentioned, plus how many times your competitors are mentioned or tagged, divided by the total mentions. So total of those. So that tells you how much of that social share of where people are talking about you online, how much of that that you have. And what that does for you is it tells you kind of, you know, what could you do, or how could you get more of that? You want to think about how can you gain more of that space and really capture more of that audience. So that's an important one as well. You know, I'm gonna harp on engagement rates. Oh, look at that. Chance just delivered me a slice of pizza. So lunch is here. So yay for that. Perks of both of us working from home while we're sick. So average engagement rate is another one that you may want to pay close attention to, and that is your total likes, comments, and shares divided by the total number of followers that you have. Kara has just shared another article in the comments. Small business season of support. Get the help you need for the busiest time of year. So that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Kara. But some other, I know a lot of you are doing some other things with your marketing. So you may need to know, take a look at what worked in terms of, are you doing any influencer marketing? Are you doing emails? Emails are a huge one. Your emails definitely need to be paying for the time and energy into that. Maybe it's just a matter of looking at not just your open rates, but your click rates. So what are people clicking on in your emails? Do you have any automation in place? If you don't, hit up Shizuka in the comments, because she is the person to talk to about all things automation. She can set up so many different programs to all connect with each other and play nicely, so that you can kind of automate some of these pieces too. And I think people bristle when I say automation. They automatically just think like, ew, it's gonna be canned, it's gonna be like stale and boring. But I'm talking more of the processes than the actual content. There are ways to really like hone in and make that content still really engaging and personable without kind of just making it very like, well, that was obviously an automated email that I just got, like there are ways to go about it. It takes a little bit more strategy and effort up front. Now, there are all kinds of free tools and resources out there. So if you are just like, I'm still lost when it comes to trying to figure out what metrics to measure and all of that, or how do I make these calculations? There are so many amazing free tools and resources out there. One of my most favorites is from HubSpot. We love HubSpot. We're big fans. We follow, read pretty much all their blogs, listen to all the things from them. They're an amazing company and they really know what they're talking about. So HubSpot has a calculator, and it will help you calculate your traffic and leads. So it is an Excel spreadsheet that you can download, and then you can go in and you go through these, let's see, it's 5 simple steps. So, sorry, now there's a bee buzzing around me. So you go through 5 simple steps with this calculator, and it's going to help you determine really how many leads you need, how much traffic you need in order to achieve your revenue goals. So this is an amazing tool, and it really cuts down the process of having to like piece it all together yourself. So I love this tool. First, you enter in your monthly revenue goal. So my monthly revenue goal, let's say it's $20,000. And then you enter in step 2 is that you, yay, thank you, Kara, for linking up the calculator. The calculator link is in the comments, woo! So if you enter in the percent of new revenue that your marketing has to generate, you do that in step 2. So of that 20,000, like I'm just going to use the example that maybe your business is 80% referral, 20% coming from marketing and new leads. Let's say 20% that marketing needs to generate. All right, so then we'll move on to step 3. And if you download this calculator, you'll see that step 3 asks you to enter the average revenue generated by one new customer or account. So this is something that hopefully you have in your accounting anyway, that you just know this number. Everyone should know this number. So if your average revenue per client is $650, you put that number into this calculator and it pumps out how many new monthly customers you would need. So it's going to say that I need 6.2 new customers on average per month to be able to achieve this goal. Okay, so step 4 moves you down into calculating the number of monthly leads needed to support that new customer goal. So what's your lead to customer conversion rate and what's your goal? These are the two questions that this step asks you. So your lead to customer rate, these are, once again, numbers that you're going to have to figure out if you don't already know them, which I think most business people probably do. Your lead to customer rate. So let's say our lead to customer rate is really pretty solid and it's about 40%. But we want to improve on things, always looking for ways that we can improve and do better. So let's put our goal at 60%. So currently with a 40% lead to customer rate, our monthly leads we need would be 15 to get to that new customer number of 6. Let's just say 6. So if we wanted 6 new customers every month, we would need 15 leads just to maintain what we're doing right now. If we want to hit our goal of 60%, this calculator is going to tell us that we need 10 more monthly leads needed. So that's a really nice little way to put that together. And then finally, on step 5 of this calculator, it asks you to calculate the monthly traffic needed to generate required number of leads. So this question is basically asking, what's your visitor to lead conversion rate and what's your goal for that? So how many people have to visit, visit your website or whatever it might be to result in a sale? So if currently our visitor to lead conversion rate is 30%, the monthly visitors needed is 51. If we want to up that goal, if we want to say like, okay, 30 is cool, but how about we shoot for 50? We'll get a little ambitious. It's going to calculate for us that our monthly visitors needed in addition to that is 21. 21 more visitors needed on a monthly basis to get to that number. So what took me so long to go live earlier at noon was that I was trying to go live. I'm out on my back deck, and I was trying to use my Wi-Fi because I wanted to pull up on my tablet and screen share with you and show you this calculator. But Kara has linked the calculator in the comments below, so go on into that calculator link, download it, play around with it. Let us know if you have any questions from there, but hopefully it helps you kind of organize these numbers and help you make a data-driven decision for your budget for the upcoming year. It should make things quite a bit more simple for you. But those are so just to kind of recap, take a look at those numbers, like map out, list out whatever marketing efforts that you did this year. Did you really hone in on Facebook or Instagram, or did you try and go down the TikTok rabbit hole? Like, what did you do? What did you do with your website? Did you do any SEO work? Map it all out, and then go in and look at these numbers, comb through the data, export your Excel sheets, do what you need to do, find those numbers and look at what worked, what didn't, and then going forward, take that and figure out what are our goals for 2021. Are they the same, or do we need to make some adjustments for our budget? So this is some seriously nerdy stuff, but I hope it's been helpful. I hope it's been interesting. If you have any comments or questions or anything, please drop them below. Be happy to answer. Kara has thrown in quite a few different links to articles and tools and resources that might be super helpful to you all. So take a look at those, look at your numbers, and come back next week for a little more about planning and plotting for 2021. So we're going to continue this conversation next Friday, and hopefully I will 100% be back to normal and have a voice again completely. I'm gonna go eat some cough drops now. My throat is getting a little scratchy the longer I go on. So thanks for joining me today, guys. I hope you found it interesting. Come back next week. We are going to talk about goal setting and kind of like what you're looking forward to and what you want to achieve in the new year. So thanks so much. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys next week.